Well, hey everybody, Mr. Reeves back with you. And in this video, we're going to be looking at finding circumference and doing some problem solving surrounding finding circumference and using circumference. All right, so let's start here with this first set of problems, numbers 1 through 8. It says use the diameter D or radius R to find the circumference. So first of all, let's make sure we understand a diameter. A diameter is a chord that goes all the way across a circle from one side to the other through the center. So that's a diameter. That's a diameter. So those are diameters. Now, a radius, on the other hand, starts at the center and goes to a point on the circle. So that's a radius, and that is a radius. Okay, so it is really important you learn to recognize the diameter. I'm going to put a green dot for diameter and a blue dot for radius. So this is a diameter, diameter, radius, radius, and of course below it they have diameter and radius. The reason why it's so important is because when you're finding the circumference, you find it a different way using the diameter than the radius. Not really a different way, but a different formula. So if we're going to find the circumference using the diameter, we simply say the circumference is pi times the diameter. All right, circumference is pi times the diameter. All right, I went over this formula in a previous video, so I'm not going to do it again. All right, the circumference for a circle when you have the radius would simply be pi times 2r. All right, because we know that it takes 2r to equal the diameter. So we simply replace d with 2r. Now, many times, in fact, almost always, you see this written as 2 pi r because they like to put that constant coefficient out front. I like to do it this way, so students are doing the same thing, pi first, either times d or times 2r, but you certainly are welcome to do it that way. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and work through the first number 1 and number 3, and then you'll be on your own for the other ones here. So I'm going to go ahead and take my calculator here. So for this first one, I'm going to be doing circumference is equal to 8. Circumference is going to be, by the way, we're going to use, this is important, we're going to use 3.14 for pi. Okay, so I'm going to do 3.14 times 8, and absolutely you want to use a calculator for this, okay? 3.14 times 8, and I get 25.12. So that would be the answer to the hundredths place. All right, I happen to know from looking at the answers that they're rounding to the nearest tenth. So the answer that they have for this first one is 25.1 centimeters. That would be the answer rounded to the nearest tenth. All right. All right, let's take a look at number 3. Again, we are using the radius, so it's going to be 3.14 times 2 times 30, because it's 2 times the radius to equal the diameter. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put that in my calculator. Here we go. 3.14 times 2 times, it was 30, wasn't it? Yeah, times 30. And when I get that, I get 188.4. So 188.4 feet. Okay, no need to round that to the nearest tenth because it already is at the nearest tenth. Okay, so that's what you need to do for these first set of 8 problems. For the diameter problems, you are going to use this formula right here. Circumference is equal to pi times d. And for the radius problems, you're going to use circumference is equal to pi times 2r. All right, okay, let's move on now to problems 9 through 11. All right, 9 through 11 say find the perimeter all curves shown are semicircles. All right, a semicircle is a half circle, if you didn't know that, okay? All right, so the perimeter is the distance around, okay? The distance around the outside, or the distance around what we call the perimeter. All right, so if you take a look here at this first diagram, so we've got this 50 yards here, and it goes straight up, so this would also be 50 yards. So that part of the perimeter we know is 50, and that part of the perimeter we know is 50. Now this part here is a half a circle, and this part here is half a circle. All right, well, what's a half a circle plus a half a circle? It's a whole circle, right? So for this one, the perimeter is going to equal the circumference, right, plus 50 plus 50, is it not, right? And remember, the circumference is going to be pi times the diameter, but what's the diameter here? Again, what color? I used green, didn't I use green for the diameter? All right, please tell me I used green. I did. All right, okay. So the diameter is 60. So for this problem, we're going to do pi times 60 plus 50 times 50. All right, I'm going to let you go ahead and do that on your own. All right, for this one, if you look, what do we have here? All right, well, again, right here, what do I have? I have a diameter, right? Yeah. So perimeter is going to equal, in this case, the diameter plus what? Well, what do we have here? We don't have a whole circle. We have a half a circle, right? So plus the circumference, but we only want half of it, so we're going to divide by 2. All right, so the diameter plus the circumference divided by 2. All right, and that, of course, or you could do 1/2 times c. All right, dividing by 2 is the same as multiplying by 1/2. I hope you all know that by now. Dividing by 2 is the same as multiplying by 1/2. So the diameter, which was 20, plus, right, it would be the circumference is the diameter times pi times the diameter, right? So pi times the diameter divided by 2. All right, okay. And again, I'm going to let you do that one on your own. Okay, let's take a look at this one. All righty. Well, again, we're going to want to go all the way around like this. Woo, that looks fun, doesn't it? Skateboard. There you go. Up and down, up and down, up and down. All right, so, well, this is 9.2. This is 7.5. Over here is going to be 7.5, right? So again, when we look at the perimeter, we want the distance all the way around. So what are we going to have? 7.5 plus 7.5 plus 9.2 plus. Now, let me do this right here. What would that be right there? That would be what? 9.2. And why did I make it green? Because that's the what? That's the diameter. But what do I have here? Not a whole circle, but a half a circle, right? So it's going to be plus the circumference again. Circumference divided by 2. And again, the circumference is pi times the diameter, but the diameter in this case is 9.2. All right, so I'm going to stop this video here for just the first 11 problems. Again, for the first 8 problems, you're just doing the circumference as pi times the diameter, or the circumference as pi times 2 times the radius. And then these next problems, we are finding the perimeter. We're adding up the distances all the way around. We're adding the straight segments plus the semicircles that we have here. This one we got lucky because 2 semicircles made a whole circle. All right, in our next video, we will go ahead and look at solving problems 12 through 19. Until next time, have a great day.